Hi, welcome to Maree. I'm going to share something different today, my spelt poppy seed twist spread. Something different for Easter. It's Easter here tomorrow and I'm making this. I've already made my hot cross buns and we've had a lot of them. So let's get started. So in this bowl we've got the dough hook and I've got 1 packet of instant yeast and I've got some milk that I've just warmed up. So there's 250 mils and I'm using oat milk, but you can use whole milk. And I'm just going to whisk that until my instant yeast is dissolved. If you don't have instant yeast, just do this step but let it rest for 15 minutes. But we're just going to keep moving. So into that I'm going to add, I've got just a pinch of salt. I've got 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm using white spelt flour. This spelt flour has a really high protein content. It's about 12%. So I'm going to pop that in. And we're just going to mix that up for a little bit. So also into that I'm going to add butter. This is what's called an enriched dough, which means it has milk, butter and an egg, 50 grams of an unsalted butter. It's about 1/4 cup. And I'm just going to put 1 egg in. So I've got an egg here. Just going to crack it into this bowl. And I want to give it a little whisk before I pop it in. That whisk is probably a bit big for my bowl. We want to give this a good knead for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to put my timer on. I started on low just so everything's combined, and when I see it kind of all combined, and then I bump it up to number 2 on my KitchenAid. But the dough's looking beautiful and silky and smooth. And then make sure you've got either a cover for the bowl, a damp tea towel or some plastic on standby, because then we cover the bowl and let it rest for about an hour and a half in a warm spot. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on my hands, or you can use flour. So I just grab the dough off the dough hook. So beautiful and silky and smooth. Look at that. And I'll grab a little bit of the olive oil and put it into the bowl. And then we're just going to rest this for about an hour and a half. Actually, we're going to rest it for about an hour to an hour and a half. And stick around because I'm going to do the next step, which is making the poppy seed filling. So step 2, we're going to make the poppy seed filling. So I'm using oat milk, but feel free to use regular milk. So I'm pouring in 180 mils or 3/4 cup. And I've got just regular white sugar, 50 grams or 1/4 cup. And we've got poppy seeds, 100 grams. I think that might be, I'll put the cup measurements up above. So we just want to get this all heated up. We've also got some semolina. So I've got 1/4 cup or 40 grams of semolina. You just keep stirring it. Don't walk away because it'll stick to the bottom. And this is one that you can prep the night before if you're organised and you know you're going to make the bread the next day. Otherwise, we'll just do it now and let it sit here at room temperature while the dough's rising. So we're just making a paste-like consistency. See that? It's all coming away from the sides because that's the semolina doing its job. I think we're just about there. Move that out of the way. Just grab a trivet. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. You can also add a little bit of lemon zest if you like, but I'm just going to do the vanilla today. And I'm just going to transfer it into a bowl just so it cools down a little bit quicker. And that is our filling. So that's all ready. And we're just going to wait for the dough to rise and then we'll do step 3. So our dough is doubled in size and I just need to get it out of this bowl onto this area here, and I'm going to flour it with a little bit of my spelt flour, generously. Put some flour in your rolling pin. I'm doing it on my pastry mat, but you can also do it directly to the bench. So grab all that out and we need to roll it so it's a really large rectangle. Just stretch some of that out. What I love about this recipe is you don't need to do a second proof. You just roll it out, twist it up and bake it. Oh, in the meantime, I've prepped my oven. So my oven's already heating up at 170 fan forced, and I've got some baking trays that I've lined on standby. So I'm going to do it on 2 trays that I use for my cookies. Okay, I think that'll be good now. Not quite a rectangle, but it'll be fine. And I've got my poppy seed filling. You can add butter, but I never do. I just add this poppy seed filling on top. And if it goes a bit too thick to spread, you can just add a little bit more milk to it. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start rolling it from this long edge and try and tuck it quite tightly. Stretch and tap as I go. And you want to have the seam side down. And because it's so long, I'm going to cut it in half. So then I'll put it on 2 trays. So let's just, hopefully I've made them equal. I'm just going to stretch that out so it's about the same shape all the way around. I'm going to seal that off just with my hands. I'm going to slit right down the middle with this sharp knife. And the good thing about this style of bread, even if you don't think it looks right or if you don't think it looks perfect, it still tastes great. Seal the top. You've got kind of like this long twist. I'm going to just place it on the tray so it looks like that. Right, it's rolling everywhere. And grab the other one. So you can get it to this stage and put one of them in the fridge and then bake it tomorrow. Now grab an egg and pop it into a cup or a glass. I'm just mixing that up. And I want to grab a little bit of milk and just add a little bit of milk to that. Let me just grab some oat milk. It's going to add about a tablespoon. Grab your pastry brush. And we just need to brush the top of this. It's called an egg wash, which gives it a glaze and makes the dough look lovely and golden and brown. So just do that on the top. So I'm going to bake both of these for about 30 to 35 minutes until they look golden brown. Can't wait to show you. Our timer is about to go off and the bread's ready. So check that out. Lovely and golden brown. So you might be tempted to cut into it straight away. You can if you really want to, but it's good just to let it sit for about 30 minutes before you start slicing it. So we're going to rest that for 30 minutes and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. So we're back with our poppy seed loaf and check that out. Doesn't it look delicious? And I've just buttered one here. So I'm just going to do a taste test. Crispy on the outside, fluffy in the middle, perfect with just butter, not too sweet. I love this kind of thing. Let me know in the comments below what you think of my poppy seed twist bread. Hit the thumbs up if you've liked my video. Consider subscribing if you're new here today. And I'll pop a few other links up above for some other ideas on some spelt bread recipes. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. Yum.